there was a student we met at the University of Uyo, and she just couldn't open up about what happened to her, but she really looked sad when we talked about sexual harassment and all of that. Okay, tell us about it, but she wouldn't.
She said it happened to her, but then tell us about it. She was not.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's like I said, the rape culture is so bad that so many people they're just of the opinion. I know so many people that have gotten assaulted, like sexually assaulted, different things. Do you understand? And not one of those assaulters are in prison or have been arrested.
They are still there.
Some maybe say they've tried doing legal action. The guy has run away. They can't find him. Police are not very efficient.
In Nigeria, you can't even track somebody.
Yeah, you can't track someone. Yeah. And another thing about school is that even if you know everything, if you don't know the practical know-how, if you don't know the active thing to be doing, it's just as if you don't know anything.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that the degree is that important, but you won't be able to shake off the feeling that it is important because it has been ingrained in your system, in your soul, that you have to get that education.
To pass exams is a skill.
Yeah.
As in, it's a skill. It's not like it's a useful... And sincerely, I'm sorry to say, but the university system in Nigeria is not something to die for. It's not.
Nigerian University, almost all the lecturers are the same. So, my dear...
Hi, I'm Ahitabel.
Hi, I'm Emaidio.
And I am MM.
And welcome to Truth in Bikinis.
Yeah, we strip down life's toughest issues to its core truth.
Or at least the ones affecting the women.
So and today we'll be talking about sex for grades, the unspoken epidemic of sexual harassment in schools. Before we start, I'd just like to throw this question. I'd like to find out, what do you think? Is a student's grade a key determining factor to their success in life?
Not at all. It might be an indicator, but not the key. Because we have people who they left school or they even went out with third class, but yet they did very well in life. We had people who dropped out. Being great men, there are some great men who said they would dropped out of school and they did better in lives. So it's not the key determining factor, but it helps though. But that's not just the key factor.
Okay, so let's say in Nigeria, for instance, because I kind of feel like when we talk about sexual harassment, especially in schools, universities, I think that after time the student goes away thinking, I have to make this course, I have to pass this course. I'm wondering what goes on in the mind of a student when a lecturer approaches you and says something like, okay, you have to sleep with me so that you can get this grade.
I mean, in my very humble opinion, I do not think that the grades or the school are as important. You really need, at the end of the day, what you need is skills. And anything you do in life, if you're going to work hard, it is going to pay off. You're going to receive the fruit of your labor, whatever you do. Whether that's in school, whether that's with a skill you're learning, whether that's with a business you're starting. You understand? And another thing about school is that even if you know everything, if you don't know the practical know-how, if you don't know the active thing to be doing, it's just as if you don't know anything.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that the degree is that important, but you won't be able to shake off the feeling that it is important because it has been ingrained in your system, in your soul, that you have to get that education. So even if it's a course that maybe you're doing something that you don't even value that much, maybe you're doing mass comm or you're doing theater arts, maybe even law, because some people, law holds no power to them. You understand? Even if you're doing those things, at the end of the day, if you don't have the practical know-how, if you don't have the passion, you don't have the drive, you don't have the hard work, it's not going to do you anything. So if you're in that type of a situation, don't be scared to realize that it's just a grade, it's just a course, it's just school. But also, it's important, but also don't put your entire life on it.
But we have people who graduated and yet they are not doing anything. So it's not just that, it's your skill, what you know. So you cannot just go and kill yourself.
Okay.
Great.
All right, so maybe we should start with defining sexual harassment then.
Okay.
Yes.
For me, sexual harassment is when someone is showing some sort of sexual advances in an unwelcomed, unwarranted and unconsensual way. And it doesn't always have to be the person touched you or the person kissed you. It could be an uncomfortable hug, or them always trying to be very, very close to you, or them showing you pornographic images or pornographic videos trying to insinuate something. A person doesn't have to directly go all the way in essay for it to be sexual harassment.
Yeah.
The moment you're feeling uncomfortable and there's sexual tension,
Even if it's a conversation.
even if it's a conversation, the moment there's a discomfort with some sexual undertones, just know you're being sexually harassed in that moment. Yeah.
Even some inappropriate gestures and signs. Imagine someone doing something like this. Imagine.
Bro, when I was small, when I was a small girl, the amount of old men that used to what are you trying to tell me?
So now they use their
Even me as a small girl that didn't know what that was meaning, I was very
uncomfortable. Yes.
It was disgusting and irritating. Like, why? What are you thinking for?
And once something is abnormal, it's abnormal. If it's
You can just feel it in your heart.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let me ask this question. Is it truly consensual if a student gives in to a lecturer's demand to pass a course?
No.
No, I don't think it's consensual.
It's not consensual.
If a student gives in, because someone may say at the point where the student agrees, so it has become consensual.
Okay, it's not
but you
assault
ought to
anymore.
understand that this person is doing this thing under duress.
Yes,
It's been forced into it. It's not really something they would have thought of, initially. So the lecturer says, if you don't sleep with me, you're not going to pass this course. And then sometimes the teacher, the student can beg for a while, because I went to the University of Calabar and I've seen several cases like that. The student begs for a while, and then after a while they just give up and say it's like, we'll just have to give in to this lecturer. And then at that point, someone would say it's consensual. It's still not consensual.
And the thing is that I don't think people fully understand what consent is. Because consent is very deep. It's more than yes and no.
Yeah.
Because even when it comes to making decisions with your full, every fiber of your being, you have to make that decision. You have to be an active participant.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when someone asks you to do something and you're only doing it because they wore you down.
Yes.
You don't want to do it. You're actively doing whatever it is for that person. And in your heart of hearts, I wish I didn't do this thing. I didn't want to be here. And even while you're maybe helping them do something and you're regretting it while you're doing it, you can't say that person fully consented. Consent is more than yes or no. Because were you forced? Were you pressured? Were you given no other option than to say yes? Those are things that you need to consider. You understand?
Yeah.
It's like, there's this thing, it's like, he didn't force me, but he didn't let me go until I said yes.
Yeah.
You have to realize that it's very
beyond
deep.
yes.
Yes, beyond saying yes.
And
right.
some of them, because of fear, there are people that really want to pass, like, say, a certain course. And you hear this lecturer telling you, I want to sleep with you to be able to pass you.
That's why we are saying we should first establish the fact that your grade in a course does not necessarily determine
how it's going to come out,
or
whether
how
you're
you're going to
smart.
turn out in future,
But that's still notwithstanding. The fear is still there, because the main reason of you going to school is for you to pass your courses and then you come out well. But then something is standing as hindrance. And what if it's your final year and you see your friends will be graduating soon and yourself, just because of this one course, you say, let me just do it now. It's not just one time something. But deep down, it's not something you would really want to do.
I used to have a colleague that would say, is it not something you are giving for free? Just give to the lecturer and collect the grade,
It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. That sexual intimacy of a thing is the deepest and the closest two human beings can ever be. Do you understand? Like, in terms of physical contact, it's very, very deep. And for you to just trivialize it for a grade, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're a girl, just for a grade, it's kind of dehumanizing. It's kind of also reduces the value of that or whatever significance it might have had to you. Because if you do engage in something like that, you kind of the meaning of that sexual intimacy to you really reduces.
Yeah.
When you really let go of yourself in that way. You see it a lot in this society, especially when it comes to guys. You know, they tend to actually trivialize the whole intimacy something. So it doesn't mean anything to them. So just saying, like, it's not worth it. Don't do it. Please. Just look for another way. Even if you don't pass that course, just remember, it's not the end of your life.
You know, the fear is that these people might keep repeating this.
Yeah.
And they'll keep failing you until you agree. Because as long as it's one lecturer, a lecturer
And actually,
can be in
they
the
do.
department for years.
They do that.
Yes, they
Yeah,
can
they
stay
do
there for
that.
years. And as long as they are concerned, you stay there until you decide to conform to
If
this.
it's me, I'll just leave. I don't have that kind. I don't have that kind of energy. I was even about to, because of my lecture hall being too full. I was considering leaving. If it's such a situation where they are pressuring me like that, and I'm not seeing any way out, there's no reporting, there's no solution, I'll just go and focus on my career. I've already started itself, so I'll just focus on that, and that school thing will just have to rest and leave me alone.
All right. So, okay.
Yeah, so my question is, do students initiate these exchanges for better grades? And if so, why?
Student, they do. Yes. There are students.
That's a first, hearing that a
No,
student actually goes
They
on
go
to
to
initiate.
lecturers, yes. They go to lecturers, meet with them for better grades, especially those who know they can't do well. They go to lecturers themselves. They present themselves fully. So we are here. In fact, from their body language. From their body language.
though.
Because, there was a time
yeah.
I saw a lecturer came to class and said, all of these nonsense girls coming to my office, I want to let you understand that I'm not one of those lecturers you can go and seduce. If you fail, you failed. So that shows you there are ladies who go. There was a time I went to a lecturer's office to get script for my fellow students. Then a lady just came in. She sat down, arranged her hair. Just arranged one to. The man told me, Emidion, please, you can excuse me now.
Are you serious?
Imagine that one, coming yourself comfortably. So people are there. They said, use what you have to get what you want. Understand?
And it's like, it's actually crazy because, one thing I'm trying to learn all the time is that people are so different and your worldview will be very different from someone else's.
Yeah, that's
For
right.
example, so maybe for you, it might be a big deal. For that person, like they don't
Just
even
simple,
care about
yes.
whatever enters in between their legs. Whatever it is, they don't really give a shit. They just use it to get what they want. That's the life that they know. And you kind of have to look at it with a nuanced kind of way, because people that are doing that and that are like that, probably they don't know a life outside of that. They may be aware of living a life outside of that, but when you've been living in a certain type of way for a very long time, it becomes your safe space.
Yes.
It literally becomes your safe space. Your brain automatically assumes that this is where I should stay.
Yeah.
This is the only way. The change cannot come. And then there are some people that they're just trivial about it. They don't care. That's just them. And true, that's just them. It's not really a big deal. They're living their life like that. And they don't want to change. They don't have... Everyone's worldview is different.
All right. So, how does the power dynamics between lecturers and students make it difficult to say no?
Power dynamics.
I think that most times, these lecturers, for me, I think at some point I began to think, and I think it was evident too, that it seemed like a clique of some sort. Yeah, these lecturers have a WhatsApp group they all belong to.
Yes.
And then they go ahead to just let you know that you really cannot say no to us. Like, you can't.
Yes.
They just, I don't know how they do it, but they just make it look like you can't say no to a lecturer when he asks you. In fact, let me tell you a story. Before I got into the university, I met a senior colleague who had left my school, and she was telling me, she told me, if a lecturer ever asks you out, don't say no.
Imagine.
So I took a look at her and I was like, okay, no wahala. I've heard all that you've said. And then the very first day I got into the university, I encountered a lecturer that he looked at me and was like, come to my office. I said, hey.
I remember my own encounter with a lecturer similarly. This man walked up to me and he told me that he really likes the clothes I'm wearing. That I should take a picture of the clothes and send it to him on Facebook.
Wow. Again, congratulations.
He wants to buy it for his child.
No, lecturer should take a picture of me with the clothes I'm wearing, the way I'm looking. And let me send it to him on Facebook. Not give me his Facebook handle. Luckily, he wasn't asking for anything extra in the sense of like making sure I message him on Facebook in front of him. This was something I could simply just avoid by, it's not a lecturer in my course. I don't know him from Jack. I was just a fresh 100 level student. This is just me seeing somebody. So it's just kind of my luck. But imagine a situation where this is a lecturer that knows you, this is your course. Yeah. It's completely unavoidable at that point. And it's kind of scary, because these people actually kind of hold the power on how your university experience is going to go.
Yeah. Yes.
So saying no would just be so difficult, because it's just like you saying no is just like you saying, okay, I agree to stay in school forever.
Seriously.
Exactly.
That's most of them, they go as far as being knowing your reg number.
Yeah.
No, it's not difficult to know your registration number now. By the time you sign up for a course, everybody knows your reg number.
Seriously.
So
I don't think they'll go the extra mile to find it. I think the first thing, in fact, I've had another kind of encounter with a lecturer like that. And then one of my friends told me, thank God he didn't ask for your reg number. Or at least you can just weasel your way out of it. So it's something that is common. Automatically, they note your reg number is sealed. The deal is done.
That's all.
Yeah.
Seriously.
All right.
Okay. They asked us question: what risks do students face when they try to expose corrupt lecturers?
Well,
a whole lot of risk.
Well, for me, I think one of the concerns most students will have is the fact that the laws are not really as strong. So you can't even go ahead and decide that you want to report a lecturer that is either actively harassing you or has harassed you. So there's that fear that if the lecturer does get to hear that, okay, I've been reported by this student, and because the law may not be active and it may not, the punishment may not come quickly, you are still at his mercy.
Sure.
You're still at his mercy. So trying to report him is like, okay, if you report him quickly, they pick him up and, but if you're still at his mercy, that means he can still deal with you, or he just passes you on to the next
The funny thing is that they even have a
So
cartel. They have a cartel. So you don't even know who you're reporting to. The person you're reporting to might be his best friend, and they're into those things together. And the person is like, oh, so you want to do something like this to my own person. So students are scared. They don't know who they are reporting to. These men, they have their members. They do something together. So they all support themselves. It is always very difficult. Sometimes fellow students will tell you, if this lecturer wants to have sex with you, just quietly do it if you want to graduate from this school. Yeah. Because if you want to report, you might end up doing yourself more harm than good.
So they won't fail you without any options.
Seriously.
No, you are failed if you report a lecturer. How do you want to pass through? You are failed.
And he's of course the lecturer for that matter.
No, you are failed.
So he will tell you the marking scheme is different from what you're giving him. If you write like Wole Soyinka, it's none of his business. So
that was actually so sad. And there's this thing I said, someone told me once, that these people are so familiar with each other and they hold themselves towards this respect and regard for each other. So it's like whoever is doing this thing can do no wrong because of this so-called respect that they have for the person, or so-called familiarity, or maybe this person is older than them or has been in the school longer than them. So the culture in Nigeria is very much seniority. I'm older than you, hence this and that. You have to respect me. That respect is completely demanded. It's very rare for someone that's lower or in any other range, especially when it comes to age, to even be able to stand up to report the injustice, even if they're seeing with their own two eyes, even if they know they can do it. It's like the culture is just to keep quiet. The culture is just to, this guy is older than you, this guy is senior than you.
And they are just traumatizing students anyhow. Because I heard a guy who once said that a lecturer did this to his friend, a girl. So for that, he will make sure he becomes a lecturer in this life and will sleep with 20 more. If his own lecturer slept with 20, he will sleep with 40.
He's not even feeling fine.
Now, the lecturer has...
How does that solve this problem? Yeah.
What was his point? Like,
that the lecturer slept with his very close friend, and then the girl pleaded to no avail. So because of this, he was so bitter and had decided to do even more when he becomes a lecturer.
To who? For how? Like, I don't, where did
Now
that
maybe
come
then
from?
the lecturer's children should be in school and he will also do the same thing, whereby that might not even be the case.
That this thing or doing something to someone's children or someone, you have to. I think people don't realize that people are different. Just because this person is this person's son, it's just like you yourself. Just because your father did something bad, now they are punishing you. It makes no sense because it's not even affecting your father. Last.
Seriously.
The most your father can tell is belle. That's all.
That's if we even tell you
That's
the
all.
belle.
Because you're not your father. It's not really going to do anything for
Yeah.
you. Okay, so why do so many victims hesitate to report lecturers who demand for sex for grades?
Well, I think fear of being judged
Okay.
and fear of failing the course. Yes, because this is a lecturer that is teaching you and you're reporting. You definitely fail the course, like we said. And fear of being, even your colleagues will blame you, even your friends.
Yeah.
They will tell you, we told you not to do something like this. Now, Oyo is your own case. We'll graduate and leave you. You would have just kept quiet and do this thing and leave. After all, it will not kill you.
Yeah,
Some will
like-
say it's not your first time you've been doing it. So this way you are doing it for something better. Whereas that, it's opposite.
I mean, like she said before, like both of you have even given instances that even the people around you even encourage you to do it. Like the pressure doesn't just come from the lecturer. Yeah. The pressure comes from your friends, other students that have had similar experience. Yeah. Like, what do you mean? I'm literally a fresher. You're telling me if a lecturer wants to sleep, you keep quiet and go and do it. It's like there's no escaping at that point. There's nothing to really protect you in that situation. And most people, they just pray that the situation should even come to them because finding a solution is next to impossible. Having someone reported, I don't think I've ever heard a story of a lecturer being reported and something very big happened, he's been arrested. Have you guys heard something like that before?
I think they once posted, they wrote something and posted it online once about a lecturer who harassed students. I don't know if they actually took that up.
Yeah, because it's like everybody knows that this thing is there. It's so rampant.
Yeah, it's
but
there.
the rampant nature of it compared to the news of people getting caught, punished, or anything for it,
small.
It almost doesn't even exist. Because even your own instance, now you're not even sure whether they've arrested him. Even if that means it wasn't even big enough for people to even notice.
They won't do anything.
They don't arrest those. Okay, so let me just share a personal experience. You know, when I first got into the university, like I said, the very first day I went to the university, and this guy just saw me. He was a lecturer in my department, or he probably still is a lecturer in my department, and the place he saw me was very, very, I was trying to register, just coming in. And so I was trying to register my departmental registration. And then he said, come. So I looked at him. I knew he was older, probably a lecturer. So I followed him. So I followed him. We got to the office. He asked me to sit down. I sat down as a proper Lagosian. I scanned the whole place. And I saw his wedding picture. I said, okay, our wedding is a married man. So I relaxed a bit. Only for him to just sit down after arranging it. Then he said, how are you? Fine. What's your name? I said, my name. Of course, he didn't ask for my registration number. He said, okay, so this is why I called you. I want you to be my girlfriend. I looked at him and I said, straight to the point. I said, I'm not interested. I said, I'm not interested because this is not why I came to school in the first place. So we talked that time. I said, no, sir, thank you. Please. But you're married now. I said, but you're married. He said, well, that he just wants a girl that would go out with him when he's going out. A younger babe. Like
fresh blood.
Yeah, he wants someone, when he's going out, hanging out with his friends. So he just wants someone younger. So it looked as though, I think all of them have such arrangements where they come out with younger. So I looked at him, I said, okay, I understand, but I'm not still interested. And at that time, that was my year one. I didn't really have to interface with him so much, but it was going to be one of my core course lecturers. So when I told this other lady that told me not to ever say no to a lecturer. She just said, you should have said no, you're in trouble. Oh, I said, it's okay, no wahala. Let's wait. Let's wait for the trouble, you know. But one of the things I thought about was, people normally would say sexual harassment is about how you dress.
Yeah.
Or it's about how a lady carries themselves. I was probably wearing a khaki that day. I was wearing jean that was thoroughly iron, as if I was a soldier, and it was skirts, And then I was wearing this polo, and I would always wear a low cut. I wore low cut all through school. So there was really nothing that would say, it's the way you dressed that made that lecturer, take interest.
You know what? The funny thing is that predators are not the reason why. I feel like the reason why people really want to secure this covering up of a thing is that predators, to give predators that excuse of she's what she was wearing.
Yeah,
and number two,
happened.
they like the innocence. They like people that are covering up. They like that babyish look. The moment you tell any guy or any person that you're inexperienced in things, see how they're so excited. They'll get so happy because they want to experience, to teach you. Do you understand? That's where the excitement comes from. So, what do they call them? All of these assaulting people, all these predators. Now, between somebody that they see, and somebody that's covering up, a rapist is a rapist. Whether you're wearing clothes, whether you're not wearing clothes, they will go for you. They will still do what they want to do. It's someone that sexually harasses, whether you're covering up, whether you're not. It's just that when you now dress risque, they will now say it's because of that. Do you understand? They just use it as an excuse that the society accepts. But true. In fact, they might even get more excited when they see that you're covering up. Yeah. Because when you cover up, it gives this thing of this is something that's hidden. Yeah, this is something that's valuable. When something is hidden, you automatically take it as it's precious, it's valuable, it's something you have to take, it's something you have to achieve, it's something you have to win. Do you understand? So, that whole toxic modesty talk, I'm not really a fan of it. Yes, be modest, but in the sense of don't put your value in exposing your body or wearing excessive jewelry or excessive makeup. Don't put your value in those things. Yeah. Don't overdo it. Because at the end of the day, no matter how liberal we want to be, we live in Nigeria right now. It's not the safest thing to do.
Yeah, it's not.
You understand? But at the same time, don't ever think that if something bad has happened to you, you are the reason. It's because you wore this or you wore that.
Because, the other day we were at UNIO and we're talking about these things.
We met students.
And, students seemed, I felt really bad because these students feel like, okay, if you're being preyed upon by a lecturer who probably does his job, and you say it's your fault. Now someone say maybe the student, they don't dress well, sometimes. But no, that's not the reason.
And it was sad because I think about one of the guys, he said that he mentioned dressing. A good amount of the girls also mentioned that it's dressing.
The aspect of dressing. I have an example. We were in the class and the lecturer was teaching. Just then, a lady came in. She was all sexy. All of a sudden, the man was lost in thought. Like what he was teaching, the man kept quiet and followed her direction to where she sat. And at the end, she said, did you do the assignment I gave? The girl said, yes, you marked. And she said, later you bring the assignment to my office. So everybody were like, whoa. And she was, as in her dressing was all sexy. But this was the same man that was concentrating. But once the girl came in and few others, he was so interested in that particular girl.
Even if for that man to even have the motive or the intention to call a girl to the office because of what she's wearing, even if...
It just shows who he is.
It just shows who he is. That's just...
It's not first about her dressing.
It's not about her dressing.
But about
of course,
who he is
the dressing caught his attention.
Yes.
For sure. But a regular, normal person will say, this your clothes is inappropriate.
Yes.
Do not wear this into class.
Yes.
Go out.
Go out. Yes.
Simple.
Yes.
He's truly a pervert. And actually, the man is a pervert and a wicked person. A man that is actually, in his heart of hearts, he wants to assault a student so much. He's scratching him to do. He's scratching him and he has seen scapegoats. And whether there was nobody that will come into his class dressing sexy, he will find a victim. Like
Yeah,
last.
definitely.
Even if all the girls,
Definitely.
like, her own is that yes, dress well so you don't become a victim. But remember that just because of how you dress, that's not what made
That's
that
not-
man
no,
into
yeah,
what
that
he is.
is.
Of course.
Originally.
And some of
That's
them,
what
these
it
girls
is.
say they are own children's age
That's how it
mates.
is.
Okay, that brings us to our next question. Have you or anyone you know ever experienced or witnessed sex for grades in Nigerian universities, and how did it play? Well, I've known of someone because I was a class rep, and I've had series of girls who came to me and reported something like this. But then I can't do anything because I don't even know who I'm to report this to.
What to
A girl came to me that, okay, the lecturer said you can come check your results before he publish it out. You understand?
Very good man.
So that he's just trying to see how we can help. So you are free, just come and check it.
Yeah.
So she went to check her result and she had an F.
Oh wow.
The man said, she said, okay, sir, how much should I pay? But this is something everyone knew was a very simple course. But all of a sudden, F everywhere. And you've not
Wow.
published it yet. You're just making the announcement so that people can come and check. So he told the girl that, no, he doesn't want money from her. He said he needs money from guys and some ladies that are not that attractive enough for him. But for some others, he felt he can do something with. He said he does not want a dime. He even told the girl said, okay, sir, I can bring as much as you want. I said, even if it's 100,000, I am not collecting from you. All I want is to sleep with you. I just want to enjoy you small. And so when this lady came to me and told me, I didn't even know what to do. She said, you can come with me and plead to the man.
So that you too, you're not going to be exposed.
I said, I wish I could do that. But then me, myself, I was scared. Because me, I've escaped something like this. I've not been there. And then all of a sudden, imagine you taking me there. The man said, oh, Emidium, maybe you too, you can join.
Both of you should.
Yes. So
Both
it's not
of you
just,
should book
it's
a
not
room.
just
Let's have
girl.
a carnival.
I've even heard of another one, like it's reoccurring. This is something they do. Sometimes they can just pick the reg number. When they see you, they send the class rep to go get a reg number for them. The reg number of this girl, make sure you bring it to me. And sometimes the class reps will be the one to tell you, the lecturer is looking for you. God forbid, I cannot even do such. But I hear some class reps, they said my lecturer was interested in this girl and he sent for her. He has her reg number. What helped the other girl? She said she was HIV, but she wasn't. So when he heard she was HIV positive,
I even think that parents should do a good work of teaching their children to
Even
be
if,
bold.
though, some people
Because I mean, I went through such, and when I walked out of that man's office, I thought about it. I said, okay, maybe from next year you start teaching us. No wahala, let's wait. When time came and he started being one of our course lecturers, and he was going to teach us all through till the end of that course. And I thought about it, and I was class rep. So I always had to go to his office. You enter his office and close the door and go to ask him something. Next thing, he turns and grabs you. He turns and grabs you, and then you are trying to free yourself from
You're
it.
struggling.
so
You
irritating.
are trying to free yourself from it, and it was so much that at some point I told my colleagues, I told them, okay, see what's going on, and I think I'm going to opt out of this class rep thing. So I opted out of the class rep thing, so I didn't have to always go to his office. And then I sat down because it didn't stop. It really didn't end because I still had to go to him once in a while, maybe a course or something. So I still had to go to him once in a while. So you go into his office, somebody's grabbing your breast or is touching you, very inappropriate touches, and eventually I said to myself, I have to take a risk. Either I video this man and report him, and I just told myself I'm ready to leave this school. I told my colleagues, I said, I'm ready. They said, no, I said, it's not that serious. I say, it's serious. I'm ready. I will leave this school for this man. Either me, I leave, or he leave.
One person must
One
leave.
of us is going to leave this school. So I went and bought a camera phone. It was so funny because I told myself I'm going to video this man. But I think how I got out of it was, on a good day, I just went to his office. I sat down. He sat down. I said, sir, I want to tell you something. And he said, okay, go ahead. So I started to talk to him. I said, sir, I look at you like a father figure. Like you're a father. And you're someone that I look up to because You are teaching me something that I'd love to be, and you're already there. So I'm supposed to look up to you because you're already there. I should be saying, okay, where this man is, where I'd love to be. That's what I say in my mind is where I'd love to be. But I can't even come to you for help because you're always
what you're looking for.
Yeah, because of all of the things that you are bringing in my way. And that's not how lecturing should go. That's not how a teacher-student relationship should be. You should be willing to help your students. I said, I don't have a father. I came here and, after talking with him, somehow, I think it made sense to him. That's how that man just pulled away from me. But I knew that there were still other young ladies that were still being preyed upon by the same person, because I got to start working with him. And sometimes a student will come in to maybe register a course, and then he'll say something, how are you sure you are going to pass this course now that you are registering it again? Because you have failed it the first time. How are you sure you are going to pass it? And then he'll be like, okay, write your phone number. And the student will write that. I'll be like, don't you have sense? Don't you know that what this man is going to do with your phone? And write your phone number. He already has your reg number. He has everything. Write your phone number. And then they go ahead and write. And then they leave. I'll just be thinking about it. I said, these people are not going, there's no end. It didn't seem like there was an end to the harassment. It was just continuous.
It's continuous.
It was just continuous.
It's like that.
But I was lucky to get out of it, But I saw a lot of, in fact, I knew other lecturers in the same department. Those guys were just terrorists. I knew other lecturers when I went back to the department, one of them was saying, you were lucky. You were lucky. I was like, lucky how? He said, now that I was lucky that I had small sense. I think that was what he meant, because one of the things I think that actually make them take advantage of students is because when they look at you and then they see that, okay, you are not sharp. Yeah, you still don't know book like that. You become a prey.
Seriously.
Because if you don't want to study or if you're not learning, at least be sharp. Just know that, okay, sir, I don't want this thing. I'm not going to be stubborn to an extent, yeah? Be stubborn, be sharp. Just don't allow anybody to throw anything at you like you must do it. Don't allow them.
That's what I used to say. Even if lecturers, they keep harassing, there are some students they still can't harass. They have these extremely bright students in class. Will I be all sexy? They might still not harass because they are scared of what you can do. They know this someone that always have an A of 80, A of 70, like you're extremely brilliant in class. They can't mess with you.
I think there are some exceptions though. Yeah, because it's
But it's not going to be that much.
I was brilliant and I lost my scripts a couple of times because somehow my script was missing and then I had to interface with some lecturer at some point. I just have to register
But I think maybe that man was even someone that had an understanding. Because there are some other lecturers, you go like that and you discuss with them and he will tell you, my dear, I've said mine. And we have series of girls who have done this. This other the girl, she told me that the lecturer told her she would have to pay for the hotel and they'll be spending night together. And then they'll sleep and she would give him transport fare back to his house.
And then the girl will be paying his
for that one night they'll be spending together. The girl will pay for the hotel. They will be lodging. She will pay for the transport, his fuel, for him to drive back after the whole thing. And this was a final year student.
Yeah, they do that to final
year student. And
because that's when you are under a lot of pressure to get out.
And the funny thing is that this man was her project supervisor, handling so many things. So it was just too much. The man said that's the only way. And at the end, she did it. But imagine this girl now. She's traumatized because knowing that she had to pass through something like this. She was because it's something she really didn't want to do. But at some point, she felt she was in between the devil and the deep blue sea that she could not cross. There is no way out. And she does not know who to report. I heard she nearly reported the lecturer and that landed her in trouble because she reported to the wrong cartel of people. So now you're there again. Will you be able to report? This time around, you will be there for years. There are people who have been there for 13,
so apparently, 14. This is how it normally ends. 90 out of 100 times, the lecturer gets away with it.
Yes.
The student gets to sleep with the lecturer under duress.
Yes.
That's how it normally ends. So we need to figure out, are there really existing policies that are effective in tackling this problem?
There are
Are there
no
policies
effective policies.
There's no, I
but-
don't. There are no effective
Yes,
policies.
but it should be implemented.
Yeah.
They should just.
I
bring
think that
in-
there are laws. It's just the strict.
It's not even just the streets, like I said, just the culture around it. The culture around harassment, rape in Nigeria, in this Nigeria, is so heavily appreciated. It's so heavily, there's no problem with it. I think, maybe it may not have always been, but it is what is the current climate now. It's what's acceptable, is what is, you understand? And it might take time and time, like years and years of social conditioning to change it. For it to be something effective, because no matter how many laws they put in place, if everybody decides to come and do corner to avoid the laws, people are
will
still
continue. It
doing
will
respect
continue,
over
yes.
morality. It will continue and the cycle will never end.
Because-
Unless us as, let me say, us as the next generation, we
decide to change
we are
things.
always doing something to make sure that doesn't happen for our children, and make sure our children make sure that it's not happening to their
I
own
think
kids.
that it should even start with people understanding what's wrong and what's right.
Yeah.
Like students first. Understand that your lecturer asking you to sleep with them is
not
wrong.
right. It's not right.
As in, it's an offense that is punishable. There's actually a law, yeah? Sexual Harassment Prohibition Bill. It was for universities only, and it's punishable. 14 years, yeah? Up to 14 years imprisonment. So even though you do not get justice even in school, you can take it out. You can actually take it to a court. You can sue that man to a court. So first and foremost, people should know that these things are
get
wrong.
evidence.
But it's just to get the evidence.
Yeah.
How can they get this evidence?
Yes.
If you want to take it outside of school, if someone is stopping you, put your phone in your pocket, record or something like that. Be very sneaky.
Yeah.
Capture it one way or the other.
Yeah, capture
Have
it
that.
because-
In fact, if you can even do and compile someone, make
Yeah.
it unrefutable. Take this person to court, because I feel like a lot of people, like, they are shamed out of carrying it to a superior, shamed out of even carrying it outside of the school. I don't think a lot of people even take it to court or think to take it into court. People just assume Nigeria is a lawless land and live like that. Like, it's lawless, there's nothing that will
And so
protect
people
you.
just say, oh, it's happened. You know, there was a student we met at the University of Uyo,
Yeah.
and she just couldn't open up about what happened to her. But she really looked sad when we talked about sexual harassment and all of that. Okay, tell us about it, but she wouldn't
She
talk.
said it happened
I don't
to
want
her,
talk
but then tell us
it.
about it.
Yeah.
She was not.
I don't
And
want to talk about it.
it's like I said, the rape culture is so bad that so many people they're just of the opinion. I know so many people that have gotten assaulted, like sexually assaulted, raped, different things. Do you understand? And not one of those assaulters are in prison or have been arrested.
They are still there.
Some maybe say they've tried doing legal action. The guy has run away. They can't find him. Police are not
And
very
in Nigeria,
efficient
you
in
can't
this
even
thing.
track somebody.
Yeah, you can't track someone. Please. There's one that she said that
Security
she
is
can't.
so-
She said, "Let me just forget about it. Let me not report it."
Hi.
Because this guy that did this thing to her, she had somehow a relationship with him a bit, but she wanted to end things with him, and he got angry and said that he would kill her and all those things, and that
Threat.
he threatened her. I think she left something at his place, and she wanted to go and get that thing that she left. He used that opportunity to she was traumatized. She was crying. Do you understand when I say, like, this girl was shaking for a very long time after that? And we're like, oh, let's report this guy. She said no. That she said okay, that she wants to. After she now changed her mind, after she didn't even talk about it again, just kept quiet, because there's just this sense of hopelessness with matters like
and
this.
then of course somehow it's going to be turned against you.
Yes.
You know, they are going to be like, okay, so you were having a relationship with him. That means, you went there and you
People
should
like
have expected something.
People act like because they've been in a relationship with you, or they've been married to you, or they have or they've even had some sort of sexual encounter with you, that all of a sudden they own your body.
Yeah.
And they can have their way with it whenever. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Grape is grape. Whether it was this before or it was this after, is still sexual assault, no matter what it is. Because the truth is that discomfort, that pain exists. Whether there was a time that you guys were cool or you guys were not cool, it will still exist. The repercussions will still exist. no matter your history together.
So I think that there should be some sort of sensitization first. Let's even define, let people understand that there are certain touches, there are certain conversations that amount to sexual harassment. Yeah. So let's even start from where people understand that when somebody makes such a comment, this is an harassment, yeah? First. Because, recently something happened and the wife of the person came up on called a press conference and said this person is, we know who I'm talking about, and said this person is always playful. This person always plays a lot. And maybe sometimes someone can say that play can misconstrue what that play meant and now be saying something like that. Somebody was playful with stuff as serious as, and men make some funny remarks and you say it was play. That means there is first. You don't first understand that this thing is serious.
Yeah, there might be is not evidence enough. So normal play.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So that and that's where I'm saying that people should be educated. Yes. Yeah, I think there should be some sort of education first. Let people know that these things are wrong. Let people know that you can't touch a girl like this, or you can't touch a man like this. Whether it's one way or the other, you can't talk to someone, even if they are dressed naked. There's a way you cannot talk to them. Sometimes if you are in the market sometimes. There was one time in Lagos and this lady came into the market. I don't know whether she was from Yankee, but the way she dressed, she wore a bomb short and she entered the market. Oh my God. The whole market went mad. Everybody was shouting. I said, well, what could be the problem? So I turned and I looked, I was like, oh. So the guys were following her, some were touching her and, that's assault.
What was the woman doing?
Nothing. She just dressed and got into the market, and so.
Okay, she was dressing fine.
Yeah, and as in the short was really very, too short. Yes, and it was. It wasn't like it was too short. It was like a bomb shot of some sort. Yeah, but maybe it didn't get to her knees.
Yeah.
So the guys were excited. They were just running after her, and then there was this uproar in the market. I was like, oh Lord, like some people were attempting to touch her.
Whenever I go to Itam market, I make sure that I'm covered from head to toe. Because best believe, if your arm is showing like this,
they will be touching you.
Even if it's covered, they will still touch you.
They say, marry me. And it's so annoying. And when you're leaving and you're trying to ignore them, they'll hold your hand and they'll try to look into your eyes. As they look into your eyes, whether they're expecting to fall in love with them. Like they're just... Oh God, and it's so unwarranted.
Most people don't even know that these laws exist. So first and foremost, students don't even know that there's such a law that prohibits sexual harassment in school. So they don't even know that they can actually fight such battles if it comes to them. So there's need for that sensitization to go up in schools. Let young people know that these things are not, don't take it like business as usual. A lecturer must not make you uncomfortable because he's teaching you a course. It doesn't have such a right.
Well, to me, I believe the school should employ a report mechanisms where they can go, students can freely go and report these things to them, because not most of them might likely go out to court, but there should be an office in the school premises where students can go and report.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is just that this country is corrupt.
Yeah.
This lecturer said they might still be the one. It can get better, but currently it's corrupt. So the lecturers could even use money to shut those people. They can shut them up.
Yeah, that's why the idea of getting evidence, is not a bad one at all.
Always have evidence.
Either record one of those sessions.
If they manage to get your number and message you, screenshot.
Screenshot
is your best friend. Keep
yes.
it. But log it so much that nobody can ever say that.
These lecturers, they've done things with different students. And you don't expect those people to be foolish. They are smart. They might have a smarter way of playing things out with you that you might not even have an evidence.
There's always a way to get.
There will always be a way.
Like she said, they target people that seem dull. They target people that don't seem sharp. They target people that are vulnerable, that they know most likely they will not say anything or talk too much. Even if they even target someone that might be outspoken. Do you understand? There's still a level to it that they won't actually be able to handle it. If you're taking it to court, if you're making it a big deal, in fact, you can even do something, because in the age of the internet right now, You can even do something, create TikTok.
You can just start a
You
campaign
can blast
and
campaign,
it
post
will
his
go
picture.
viral. Yeah.
you know,
go viral. Post his picture.
Can
Post
start
the
a
receipt.
campaign and it
Post
will
like
go
I think
everything
and
will-
when
before you know,
guys
he will lose
believe
his job.
one thing about people, cancel culture. People on the internet, just give them small information. There's
They will
people
run-
they
they
will
will
run
carry
with
it.
it.
They'll run with it.
They will run with it. Some
They'll
people
run
even
with it.
come. Some people even do and find a way to find a man's house. Look, people on the
Don't buy
internet.
it, sincerely. It's true.
True.
So if you just get a little, you know, recently what happened. Let's not even talk about that one. You know, and that lady has been unable to get head because everybody's like, bring your evidence, and the guy is a popular sweetheart. You know, everybody's likes. You know, he has this way of getting the hearts of people. So everybody's like, bring your evidence, and everybody's like, first hear her out first. Are you even sure she has evidence?
It's not
This
just
thing-
that. People that a lot of people that are predatory. There are people that people love the most. People that are doing these bad things. Even these freaking serial killers. Most of these serial killers that get caught and they've had the most kills. They have the most innocent face. They have the most charming face. They look like a person that you wouldn't even expect to do something like that. Someone like Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy killed all those women, and last at the end of the day, there were still women that were like, "Oh, he's actually so fine. I would have talked to him." Even while he was in jail, women were writing him letters.
you can imagine that.
They were writing him
Yeah.
love letters. It
You
just
know?
goes to show how charming and nice looking these people can be
that
sometimes.
charisma is something that endears, and so people are not even being logical and thinking, okay, maybe this woman didn't ever think of this. They never think of maybe trying to record whatever conversations they had or keeping evidences for such a time as this.
And also, why would she even do that to her career?
Yeah. And so, but I actually think as a student, if you are in such a situation, just calm down first. Calm down. Once it tells you that,
Reason it
make
first.
sure that the next meeting you have, you are
should
fully
go with
prepared.
something.
Covered.
You are
Yes.
fully prepared.
And
Just
if
go-
everything-
if you have to borrow a recorder, you borrow a recorder. Once you put that thing on the
Exhaust
internet,
everything. Yeah.
it goes
And-
viral.
and-
And the
Also-
truth is that exhaust all your options. Exhaust it. Like, don't just do this one thing. When he's looking hopeless, find your hope. Do it. Like you said, go on the internet, have your evidence, release it. If you can't afford a lawyer, just make sure you do everything.
I also believe there should be a support system.
Yeah.
Friends. People
Keep
should
her
try and
friends.
support. If someone comes with something like that, don't advise the person to conform to what she doesn't want to, but rather try and see how to make a way out.
not even just
some
that.
of your friends have slept with the lecturer. So what
Not
advice
just
do they
that.
want to give?
Don't even see if you know you're an intelligent, smart person. Don't make friends with dull people. Don't be friends, because it's one thing to say, "Don't do this." A person that's dull already is doing, and those people don't like to learn. Even in that school that we went, that we were asking students if they've experienced something.
And the one who said that
There were
student
some-
enjoyed it.
Yes, one
Imagine.
person said students enjoy it. Someone said, me, it cannot happen. Someone else said, me, I will show you, I will harass you. Like a guy is telling this girl that he will, and they were laughing, like idiots. Please, those type of people, if you know you're dull and you like being dull and you like hanging around dull people, go to that set. And if you know that you're smarter and you're better than that,
Yes,
please,
do better.
never in your
Yeah.
life should you change yourself to match people that don't even deserve to be in your presence. It's better for you to not have friends than to have
To
friends
have
that
friends that will
deem
lure you into something like that.
will let you go like that. I
Yeah.
know in a million years that none of my friends would ever tell me. I would tell them something like that, and they would tell me that, okay,
You need
just
to
give
go and
in.
do
Just
it,
give
you know.
in, yeah.
But that's
I-
what I'm even saying. Try
I
and make
worked
friends
hard.
or have friends with
I
people
worked
that
hard
when
to
you
have
say-
friends like that too. I have
Like
worked
that.
hard to have strong head friends with opinions like that. Do you understand? It took a lot of years, a lot of time of me not having anybody as my friend before I now finally landed on a few people that think this way.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Those people will suggest do this, do that, do that. They will suggest everything that for me to give in.
Yes.
So, like she said, have a support group, but your support group should
Be the right one.
Should be the right people.
Yes.
Wise people.
Wise people.
Not
People
of
that can-
fools.
When
Because
it's
people,
food
they will find they will go to the man behind your back and tell you
Yes.
and tell the man what you're planning.
That's what I'm saying.
And
A
that's
good
worse.
number of them have already been through that path, so they don't
Yes.
really have any advice for you. as a
Yeah,
person.
they don't have any
They don't
help
have any
for you,
advice
truly.
for you. Yes.
You are what your friends are. Anyways, my last question: How can we empower students to resist and report such advances without fear?
How? The same way they should go and report to higher authorities. They should have evidence with them, report these people. And we should be sure that these things will be carried out, because when they report and nothing is being carried out, nothing is happening at all, the next person would not want to try.
Yeah.
Because we have people who are still watching. They want to see if this girl will succeed.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, then there's no need, no hope for us.
Yeah.
But if one person goes out and the person succeeds, the other ones are there, plenty of them. They might now run to you. How did you do it? We have a story. We have us. So if something like that occurs, you can even come to realize that so many ladies in a particular class have gone through this. And they want to voice out. So they just did the right people or the right way. And I was even suggesting maybe there's this students' union. The SUG, we have those who are there, like representing students. Maybe those could be a right source where students could go out and voice out these things.
I actually think it should be an independent investigation body, because even the student union,
It's not
still
even
the same set of your senior classmates that probably have gone through the same this thing. So please, they cannot even really
But
be.
they might be
even
so
though they
different.
should actually have a system, because that body is supposed to look out for students. Yeah? Yes, it should look out for students, but there should actually be some sort of independent body that takes care of that matter, such that let it be assured that when I report this lecturer, if they said it's 14 years, it is activated immediately. Somehow it's activated immediately. And so the rest of them will recoil a bit, and then wait for maybe when they can attack again. But let that thing be activated. And if at all somebody tries to, one of the things I think that makes students a lot less powerless is the fact that they may be thinking, okay, what about when I come back? Maybe there were 3-4 lecturers that harassed me. If I report one of them, for instance, and then the other ones heard that I've reported them, they will now say, oh yeah, come now, let's see. Come and pass the course. Come and graduate, let's see from this department. And then, you're already in trouble. Because, so there has to be a way to check all of those things.
It should be underground
never just investigation.
Yes, underground.
Also education. A lot of people like you said, a lot of people may not think to record or keep records or even want to go today. They don't even, it doesn't occur to them as an option now, or even posting online and exposing the lecturer and exposing everybody that's this thing, risking everything. You understand? People, it doesn't occur to them that they can do that. They can make noise and be a voice or something. Because everybody is just quiet. And one thing is that when there's a system in place, to break that system takes time and it's very, very difficult. So you find yourself automatically following it most times. So just like how we are talking about it now, listen to things like this podcast where we are trying to educate and help women on different things and different situations they are not aware of. Always put yourself in the know. Always educate yourself on things you can do.
Stay up to date.
When you get to that information, you can even literally search on YouTube. I'm in this situation. How have other people you see so many stories on how people dealt with it, how they can deal with it. Yourself, you can even share your own story on how. Do you understand? It's like there's so much information out there that you not educating yourself. Ignorance is not an excuse.
Well, to those that are scared of bringing themselves out, you can pass through some influencers online. Because there are some influencers who you can just go to them, you inbox them and tell them about this thing and they carry it up for you. Because some might not just want to come out to show themselves that they are the ones, so that they will not be attacked.
I think that's the main problem. The major problem we have is the fact that most students are trying to secure something. So they don't want anything to stop them from getting to their goal. So like my degrees, like my BSc is at stake. I have to hold it with both hands, and then the lecturer is saying I cannot graduate. What does he want in exchange? And so I give in, because for me that degree is more important than any other thing. So that's the main problem we have. The fact that students are holding on so strong to whatever they
are
think
believing in it.
That degree is.
And the sad thing is that they might have done it, gotten the degree, and last, they are not even using it.
Yeah.
One thing they end up
that's what I'm
having,
saying.
they end up having
Yes.
HIV.
That's where we
And
we
you can,
started.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
you
they end
may
up
get an
having
STD or an
HIV,
STI.
yes. And
Maybe the lecturer can say no protection or
Yes,
something like
and
that.
this man
Give you
has
crazy
done it.
rules, and there's nothing you can do. But
So that's what we are even
Seriously.
saying from the beginning. The first thing is that these grades are just grades.
This-
You can pass any exam. One of our friends used to say, to pass exams is a skill.
yeah,
As in, it's a skill. It's not like it's a useful. And sincerely, I'm sorry to say, but the university system in Nigeria is not something to die for. It's not.
Come and kill yourself.
Because
and another thing is like there's so many options. You can actually start online university,
Yes.
work hard, save up money, and
University.
do that one. You don't even really have to interact or get yourself in those type of dangerous situations again.
Yes.
You can stop school because at the end of the day, your timeline doesn't have to follow suit exactly the way it is. You understand that most people, even if you graduate and you finish university for the first time at 25 or 30, that's like your life moving.
That's
That's
yours.
something.
That's-
You understand? It
that's,
doesn't have to. You don't have to follow the exact
Yeah.
route. If you don't do it now, you can do it again. You
So-
have enough time. You can invest that time and do what you really want to
So
do.
they
that's-
earn more
that's
than the
even-
lecturers.
You
So
that's even-
exactly
seriously.
like don't
So-
hold yourself back because of it.
So
Just
that's
think
why I
about what-
said that's even the first problem we have.
yeah,
The
holding on
fact
to
that
the degree.
students will not even want to take the risk of leaving school, or if ever maybe something like that happens, students don't want to take that risk. It's too risky for you to come out
That's
and
what
say,
I've been saying. If you
know,
don't
come
want
and
to take
report.
the risk, you just pass through someone who
But
can do it.
you would not necessarily have maybe solved the matter per se, because there's going to be still need. There's still going to be need to, expose who this lecturer is, expose who are you that is, if it gets to court, they're going to need some evidence, bring all of the things you have. But most people are not willing to put themselves there. So it's just hide my ID, see what this man is doing
And
here.
that's
see
because
what this
proper
man-
actions are not taken.
So-
The proper actions are not there. So that's why they are scared.
The law is actually there. The
You
law
take
is in
away-
The law
place.
is there, but it's
The
not
law is
working.
there, and like we've been saying ever since that you should when a lot of students put themselves in the mindset of I can just leave, you reduce the power
Yes.
that
the hold they
lecturer
have on
has.
you, yes.
That hold they have on you
Yes.
is gone.
Yes.
The moment you decide to not give that degree power over you,
Yes.
that power that lecturer has over you is gone, and then you actually realize how small
That thing
Yes.
is.
that
Yes.
thing is, that lecturer is.
Yeah.
You do you understand?
Yeah.
When you remove the power it has over you, they don't have any control, and you realize that it's a very
Let him know, sir. See, either if you want, you don't want to give me, okay, keep it
fine,
now.
keep it.
No problem.
Bye bye.
Eh,
Good.
You can go with it.
might
Goodbye
you'll be
university.
scared.
Goodbye.
You can
lecturer.
go with it. If I'm
the
unable
lecturers-
to
Some of them might be scared.
See what you do. Goodbye university, goodbye lecturer. Set up your tripod, set up your camera. So this man by the name of and this is the reason why I've left so school.
Seriously.
He lives here, he does this, he teaches this. You also carry it to court. Not only will you leave the school for him, do something
Even
like
if you can boldly
make
remove your
it-
camera there,
make
and when
it and-
he's insisting, you use
and
it
do
there and say,
something
sir.
will protect. Yeah.
You use it, say, sir, you said you want to do what? You video yourself and say, this man is willing to. And you see, these people, they are human beings. They will be scared.
They will be
scared
worried.
of losing his job.
At least,
right?
at the very least, when you expose them like
we
that,
need to get students to start, standing up against this thing.
things stand
Yeah,
up.
you need
Don't
to
be
start-
scared.
And there should be
Get up
cameras in
against
all
this
of
Don't be
thing.
these
scared. This is
lecturers'
not. This is
offices.
not
Women, in
fair.
fact, it's not just students, because this thing is rampant against women. Young ladies, they are at workplace, at school, in religious organizations. Too many of those women getting in spots where they should walk away from, but they are just feeling like, what will I do if I walk away from
They
here?
don't have a
What will I
say.
do? What if
Just
I,
there.
all of that. You need to know that you can do something. Yes, you need to know that you can break free of that. You need to know that, in fact, the most important thing is that you are more than enough. And even if you want to start another course, you don't like this course, this lecturer is not allowing you, I want to go and do it, you can still do it.
Or better
Yeah, you can
still,
choose
learn
to do
a
it.
skill.
You know,
your
you can-
own skill. Learn
No,
it
but
and-
the degree may be important, because over time, Africa, Nigeria...
Nigerian universities, almost all the lecturers are the same. So, my dear,
Like
we just
even
need to
even if
figure
that
out.
degree, like I said, online school is an option.
yes.
Online school is an option. You can do yourself a skill and make money to pay your way into some other system that's not as corrupt. It doesn't have to be a Nigerian public university you go again. If you want to, You understand? There's so much opportunity. And the truth is that hard work always pays one way or the other.
Yeah,
Even if it doesn't, even if you don't see the payout right now,
Immediately.
even that university experience that you may have left behind, there's so much you have learned
All
that you
right,
can
yeah.
apply in your life
Yes,
later.
you're right
Anything
about that.
you've worked hard to, that's the way. The world will always reward you one way or the other. God will always reward you when you put in that effort. That energy will always be returned to you one way or
Yes,
the other.
definitely.
So whether it's in learning a skill, whether it's going for another degree, whatever it is, when you put your mind towards it, you will be rewarded.
All we're trying to say is that don't exchange sex for grades.
Yes,
Please.
yes. Don't exchange sex for anything other than.
For 30 over 100, don't exchange it, please.
And you're not an object. You're not
Yes.
something to be
Like, you'll not end
exchanged
up
over.
carrying
beg.
HIV that you would end up losing your life.
Have a
for
mind
grade.
of your own. Grow up. Grow
Yes,
up.
voice.
Don't hold that thing. Don't hold that grade. Whether it's an A, lecturers will say A is for my wife, B is for my girlfriend.
How?
Whether it's an A or
Don't worry, just carry D
allow
and go
them
your
to
way.
keep their
They
A's
should keep
and their
it.
B's. Let him know that, sir, I didn't come here for your A or your B. I came here to do my course and go. Are you giving me C? Give me, let me go, and don't hold on to it too dear. Sincerely,
Yes.
it's not that deep, especially the system we have in most public universities. In fact, I don't even want to go there, but please don't hold. It's not as important as it's been made to look. So it's not that important. So it's time for you to get up, fight whatever wants to strangle you. Fight it. Have a voice, Speak out about those things. What's
Yes.
wrong is wrong. What's wrong is
It's
completely wrong. There's no need to side with evil. What's wrong is wrong. And so speak up against it. Look for ways, like Metabel was saying. Exhaust all of your options. Don't settle. Exhaust every option you have. And when you are done, get up and still continue fighting. So yeah, I
Bold,
think
please.
we've come to the end of our session today, even though I think we're going to be doing, maybe we'll have a live session where we'll just maybe go into school and then maybe talk to some more students.
Yeah.
But for today, we've come to the end of our session. All you need to do is you can still drop your comments, share. Yes, we would love to hear from you.
We want to know your
Subscribe.
experience
Yes, if you've
with
had
this
any
topic.
such experience,
Please tell us.
if you want any advice, whatever it is, if there's a way we can help out, we'll also be willing
always
to
try.
reach out to see how to help you out, because we
Tell us
know-
your stories in our DMs
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
We'll
you're
be
You are
inviting
safe,
us.
yeah.
If you want to do private something, comment something, reach out to us in our DMs. Anything you want us to even talk about, we would really appreciate your feedback. Please,
Yeah.
just do that for us. Okay.
All right, thank
Love
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.